This is a complete 20 CRM tutorial that walks you through how to set up your workspace, customize your data models, and build an automated pipeline completely for free. Look, traditional CRM like Salesforce and HubSpot are great until you get hit with this massive monthly subscription bill. That's exactly why top tech teams and agile startups are switching to 20 CRM. It is number one open source, stunningly minimalistic alternative that gives you absolutely 100% control over your data. Let's get into it. So head over to 20.com and then click on the get started button. Here I would recommend you to use your Google account to sign in because that's literally the easiest way. Choose your Google account and click on continue. As soon as you sign in, it will give you two options to choose trials, or you can continue with a pro plan as well. So there's this 30 days trial and there's this 7 days trial. 7 days trial you'll get without entering your credit card details, but if you want the 30 days trial, you can go ahead, enter in your credit card details, but I'm just going to choose the 7 days one and continue. Now as soon as you do that, it will ask you to create a workspace where you can add in your workspace logo and give it a name. So I'm just gonna call my workspace Apex, and for the workspace logo I'm just going to keep it blank. Click on continue and your workspace will be created. It might take a couple of seconds, just wait for it. After your workspace, it will ask you to create your profile because you can invite your team into your workspace, so you'll need a profile of each and every individual member as well. So I'm just going to use this name and then go right ahead. Next up, it will ask you, so these are all the onboarding steps. So it will ask you if you want to sync your calendars and your Outlook email box. So you have three options here, which is the privacy settings. Either you can choose to share all the content of both of these to your entire team. Then there's the second option where you select subject and metadata, and then there's the third option which only gives a little brief and the timestamp of the email or the calendar. I'm just going to leave it at everything and sync it with Google, give it the required permission and continue. If you want to skip it completely, you can even go ahead with the continue without sync option. Lastly, it will ask you to invite your team members, but I'd suggest that you set up your workspace and everything, then you can invite your team members later on. I'll show how you can do that also. So I'm just going to skip it. So here's where you land. Let's take a look around the layout of this entire website. On our left hand side, we have got our sidebar, which includes companies, people, tasks, dashboard, etc. Basically all the different menus that matter. Then on top we have got our profile. If we click on that, you can change the theme, invite users from over here, and then there are settings where you can manage your profile, like change your name, email. There are different workspace settings here as well, like the layout, billings, APIs, etc, etc. We'll take a look into that if we need anything. After this, you have this collapse button where you can collapse your sidebar, and this would be your main screen. Now right now by default you'll have the companies page opened up, and by default you've got like a couple of countries, companies, and so the companies are basically a directory of corporate entities, organization or businesses that you do business with, or any targeting entity that you are trying to get in business with. Now let's take a look on how you can create a new company and even import different companies into your 20 CRM. So let's take a real world example. Like imagine you're running a premium web design agency called Apex, which is what I named our workspace, and we just landed a massive lead from an enterprise tech company. So all I need to do is click on new company, and a sidebar on your right side would open up. Here you need to fill in all the details starting with the name. So I've got this company called Skyline Tech Solution. Then you add in the domain name of the same. So this is the domain. Then you have to add in who's handling this lead. So I'm just going to select me. Next up we have got business detail like the annual revenue of the lead. So I'm just going to type in their annual revenue, which is this. Then there are different details of contact like the address, LinkedIn. So you can add in those details as well. Then you've got a people section as well as opportunity section. So the people section lets you add a person in contact for the particular lead or the company. If it's a company, you need to add a person in contact like this, or you can create a new person as well. Now, as you can see, the record has been created in our companies, and just go back and your lead is already here. Now, the second option was to import your businesses, your contacts. So for that, click on this three dot button and click on this import companies, and that will let you upload a CSV or Excel file. All you need to do is select your file, but before that you need to download a sample file. Do that, and then you have to format your data to match this exact sample right here. We have got our account owner's ID, the address. There are a couple of different address columns. They'll be specific to the street, line 1, line 2, state, city, and pin code. Then there's this revenue, the creation date, the name of the company, domain name, LinkedIn, etc. So you need to make sure that your data is in this particular format itself, then only it will be imported perfectly. Moving on, we've got the next option, which is the people. This is a database of individual contacts. This can be leads, customer, or key stakeholders associated with the organization listed in the companies section. Similar to companies, you can create your person database entry as well, or even import them. So let me just show you how to create a new person. Click on this button right here and then fill in all the details like their name, first name, last name. Then you have to add in their email, phone number, the company they're working in, as well as the job title. These are the personal detail. As for the company, you have to select from one of the companies that you've already added in the company section of your app. So I just chose the Skyline Tech, which I just added, and for the job title you just need to write down their job title. You can then also add in their LinkedIn, in social media, and if you don't have that, you can totally skip that as well. If I close this, you can see all the details in the first line of the row. Also, in all of these views, there are a few common things, which are the filtering, sorting options. You can filter out the people by their names, email, the company they work for, creation dates, etc. Just choose one of these filters and they'll be filtered out. Like, I'm going to choose the creation date and I'm going to set it as today, and that's it. So you can still see all of the contacts because they have been created today only. But if we sort them according to their names, then you can see the difference. It is sorted in ascending order according to the name. If you want a descending order, just click on this sort again and choose descending. That's it. So this is pretty much common in all of these views. Also, if you want to create another view which is not a tabular form, just click on three dots, choose the create view option. You've got a couple of different options like Kanban, a calendar, etc. So a Kanban view would be the board view, but it's really not necessary. It would be required if there is some sort of option column added, like a status column. So that's really useful when that kind of column has been included in your table. So let me show you when it will be used, which is in the next section, that is opportunities. Opportunities are your sales pipeline management tool. This is typically should be presented as a Kanban board where deals, potential contracts, or revenue prospects are tracked through various stages of sales cycle. So first off, you'll see this tabular layout. What I'm gonna do is unhide a few options, for which go to options, click on fields. There are 6 shown fields. Click on hidden fields and you'll see all the other fields that have been included in the table itself but aren't visible. So what I'm gonna do is take the stage field and make it visible, and as you can see there are different stages. So this is what I was talking about when I said you'll need something with statuses or different options to create a view. Now what I'm gonna do is create a new view from this 3 dot button. Like I said before, create view, choose Kanban from the views type, and the stages has been chosen by default. Click on create and it will switch up into something like this. So now all your opportunities have been dissected and divided according to their status, which are either new, screening, meeting, proposal, or customer. Now these are the standard columns, but if you want, you can even customize them by renaming them, and it's pretty easy. Just click on the name, then click on edit. It will take you into the settings of data model, and here's where you're going to change it. So instead of these options, I'm going to switch it to fit perfectly to our creative workflow, and that will look like this right here. If you want, you can even add other options like reiteration or anything. If you want to change any of these colors, just click on the color and choose whichever you'd like, and that's it. Once you have made those changes, simply go ahead, click on save, and if you go back to your Kanban board, you have all these column names being changed. Now when you deal a process, you simply drag and drop your card into the next session or the next phase of your life cycle. It's smooth, responsive, and keeps your entire team completely aligned on where the money is sitting. Now up next, the tasks section is an internal to-do list and action item tracker for you and your team. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You can create a new task by going on here, then check it off. You can change its status. Basically, it's a Notion inside your 20 CRM. Next up, you have the notes taking app, which is a repository for logging meeting minutes, internal reminders, call summaries, or any relevant historical text documentation tied to your account. So these are personal to you and you can save up anything regarding your business over here. Now, here's the absolute superpower for 20 CRM and the main reason people choose it over rigid platforms. You can alter the core database structure directly from your UI. Like, check this out. Go back to your company, click on the 3 dots, search for something called data table, and it will take you to data model, which is inside your settings. You can even directly go to your settings, look for data model, and come over here, but it is easier to access it directly from your company. Now in here, select companies, and here's where you can add new fields as well by clicking on this add field button. Here you need to give a type for your field. It can be a text, number, date, time, address, anything. So I'm going to create a new attribute which is project budget. So I'm going to select the currency type and the name would be project budget. Now this shows a little preview of what it would look like. You can change the icon from over here if you'd like. So I'm gonna do this sign instead. Lastly, you've got some additional settings according to the field that you have selected. Like right now, the default value would be USD. If you want to change it to something else, then you need to choose it from over here, and the format, whether you want a full format which will show up down to the decimals or you want the short and rounded format, which is what I'm going to select. Click save to save this particular field. Then you can go back to your companies and check out the new field that has been added, for which you'll have to unhide it from the option. Right now it's not shown by default. Just go to hidden fields, click on annual revenue and the project budget, which is what we added, and as you can see, it is now showing up in your company, and this is the custom field that you just created. So you can use the filter tool to now create custom views for any of the custom fields that you have added. And just for your information, this goes for any of these settings right here, like companies, people, opportunities, you can create custom attributes for each and every table that's available. Now, to scale an agency, you need automations. So head to workflow because 20 comes packed with a powerful built-in workflow engine. You can set up advanced multi-outcome conditional paths and create workflows to help you out. So by default, you have got two different workflows. Let's take a look. Simply click on the name of the workflow and it will show up the entire process. Let's understand this. This is a trigger, meaning whenever this action happens, the workflow will take place. So right now this workflow is triggered manually. Then the action that needs to be taken is to fill in this quick lead form. This is the form right here, and then whenever the lead form has been filled out, the next action would be to create a company based on the form that was just created, followed by which there will be a person created using the names from the quick lead form, and that's our entire workflow. To run a test on this workflow, click on this test button and you'll have to fill in this form. Like, check this out. So I've got my lead form filled out. If I submit this, the workflow completed. So let's go check out our companies and see whether or not. And as you can see, the top row is literally the company that we just created in our workflow. Also, in people, we might find a Blake Carrington, which it's right there. Again, you can create your custom workflow by clicking on this add new workflow, give it a name, then you can select the nodes. Like for trigger, you can add manual, on schedule, or a webhook, or trigger it based on the data. Like whenever a row is being inserted to certain table, then this should be triggered. Whenever a record is updated, this should be triggered, and something like that. So I'm going to choose the record is updated option, where the record type would be one of these. So I'm just going to choose the opportunity option, and for the fields I'm going to choose the stage field, and that's it. So whenever the stage field changes, this workflow will be triggered. Next up, you'll add another node, which will be the action node. What will happen whenever the workflow is triggered? So you've got all the different options like updating a record, creating a record, iterators, etc. etc. So you'll have to choose different action and combine them to create a workflow according to what you need. Now, on top of all of that, its native AI capabilities let you use smart agents to pass through messy meeting script, instantly writing structured bullet points, summary right inside the client's node timeline. And you can even add the AI agent as a node inside your workflow itself. Lastly, we have got dashboard that gives an overview of your entire CRM. Right now, by default, you'll have this dashboard right here, which shows different charts showcasing your progress and the business. If you want, you can create another dashboard. You can create multiple dashboard according to the different things that you want to showcase, or if you want just a single dashboard, then this one is the way to go. You can edit it using this edit button over here, which lets you move around the charts, remove any fields that you don't seem to think that are necessary. As for the individual chart option, all you need to do is click on the chart name, and then you can choose the source of the chart, what are the filtering fields, the data that needs to be shown. You can change it to different type of chart as well, like a bar chart, a line chart, pie chart, etc. Also, there are styling settings like the color. If you want, you can change it to some other color like this right here. Then you have the chart settings itself. So first off, make sure you're selected your data source. Then you can select the type of chart you want to use to represent that data, and then you can go ahead and change the way that the data is displayed. It's pretty much that simple, and once you make all those changes, click on the save button to save the changes in place. Now that's pretty much how you take absolute control over your client's data using completely customizable setup. So hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.